My name is Cecilia Gifford. I go by Cece with most of my friends, and I've had a weird life. I really don't know how to explain it, but in these short little clips. I had a very weird relationship with a guy for 3 years that lasted my whole high school career. Um, I'm now in college. It was a while back, and after leaving the relationship, I realized a lot of horrible stuff that he did. And I shared it with new friends in college. I even talked to professors about it, and they all told me either to write a book, to share it online, because it's a weird story. I was with this guy for 3 years, like I stated, and he cheated on me with over 29 different people. And how I found out and how the relationship went is insane. I'm just going to go over this video because there's so much that happened in our relationship. I'm just going to go over this one video for the first year that we were together. We first got together freshman year, after I had just broken up with my ex-girlfriend. I found out she had cheated on me, and she was forced into the relationship, and there was a lot going on there, and she had a rough home life, and I was her first relationship, and I didn't want her first ever relationship to be in the closet, and I felt like she deserved better. And then after we broke up, I found out she was talking to a bunch of people and going on dates with people while we were together, and we were together only for a little bit. But I broke up with her, and a week later I started talking to this guy. He was enthusiastic. He was amazing at first. He seemed interested in everything I did. He seemed like he wanted to be with me. Like I was someone he really liked. Then there were red flags that I ignored. And now I look back at them and I know what happened. We got together, and he made me choose, not only him, but my ex-girlfriend choose her or him. I chose him, because I didn't want to be in a relationship with her after I found out she cheated on me. So we got together, and it was good at first. He took me on dates, he paid for them, he made me feel really good, especially since I had just gotten out of a lot of bad relationships. And then skip a few months later, and it's my 16th birthday party. I was going to have a big masquerade, and we had just hung out, and it was amazing, and we had made out for the first time, and I was like blushing like crazy, and I was super embarrassed. And then I see he's calling someone right after, and I ask him what he's doing, who he's calling, and I find out it's his ex. And then while on the phone with her, he invited her to my Sweet 16, which was the next day. He didn't ask me. I had no idea. I said it was fine. Like, it was free for anyone to go. I wasn't used to people showing up to my birthday parties, especially since I came out. It was a hard thing for people to come to my birthday parties. But my Sweet 16, I had a bunch of people show up, and it made me really happy. Well, she shows up, and he gets close to her. They start hanging out, and it was weird. Apparently, later on, me and her became friends, and she told me that the only reason she came was because she still had feelings for Ethan and thought I was going to be a horrible person, and that when she met me, she realized I wasn't, and she ended up having feelings for me. And then another incident right after that was during that time I had just gotten into roleplay servers where you would do text adventures like being a cop, being in a fantasy world, or being a character from a fandom. Yes, I did that. Freshman year was weird. And I invited him to join on it. And I had a friend who I'm going to name M. And M was a close friend of mine, and we talked a lot, and she was an older girl who, used to be in high school with me, and then she moved off to a different college. We don't talk at all anymore, mainly because of what happened. But her and E, which is who I'm going to call my ex-boyfriend, started role-playing in the server. I would join. I was obviously in it, but then I had class and I wasn't on it, and then I get back on it, and I see that they were having a romantic role play for a minute, and then it cuts off, and then it starts back off in a whole nother direction. Like something had happened, but it had been skipped. So I confront him about it, and I ask him about it, and he goes, oh, we went into DMs. He fully admitted it, and then I told him that's kind of like cheating because they had an intimate moment in DMs. And he said, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't think it was cheating. I thought it was like a normal thing in roleplay servers. And I told him no. And from what I know, he never did it again. But I confronted her, and she said, what? And she was like, whoa, he's your boyfriend? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, he never told me that. I had no idea. Which, in her defense, I had never told her either. I didn't tell her that we were together at all. So I can't really get mad at her for that because I didn't tell her. But, and I'm not one of those people who gets mad at someone because they were flirting with a guy. Especially if they don't know. Like, the guy's the one who's in trouble there. He's the one who's making himself seem available while the girl is unaware. So you can't get mad at a girl that the guy cheats on unless she knows that he's with someone. Then that's a homewrecker. Then you can be mad at that. But she had no idea. So we only split up because she was in college and it was hard to talk. We didn't really split up because of the situation. Well, skip a couple months later, he ends up moving off to Michigan with his dad, and we live here in Alabama. And I'm not saying exactly where, I'm not going to give names in this story, but he moves off to Michigan, and I stay sat here in Alabama, waiting for him to come back. And he comes back during the summer, we hang out, it's a lot of fun, he's doing great, me and him were having a great moment. And then his birthday comes around, and his mom planned a surprise party. Well, the night before his surprise party, another one of his friends invited and threw this little get-together for them where they hung out and they drank. I had no idea about the drinking till later. I was not really a big advocate for it, especially since we were freshmen. Going into our sophomore year, I felt like it was dumb to be drinking during that time because you could get in serious trouble. Now, I'm not going to get mad at people who do. That's their situation. It's not any of my business, but it's just me. I don't feel like it's right, and it is illegal. But he goes off and he starts drinking, and he has this all fun, and one of his exes was there because me and him were both bi, so he had this guy that he was an ex with, and it was a bad situation. And he was there, but the thing is, his ex was my friend. So he didn't really do anything. He didn't want to. But apparently he complained about me that night. He told people that I wasn't putting it up. I wasn't putting out. He kept complaining that I wasn't putting out. Because, I don't know. Which I really wasn't. Again, sophomore year, really wasn't on my mind. And so then he gets blackout drunk. He gets so drunk he drinks himself sick. And his friend T, who I'm going to call, takes him home, takes care of him. I'm worried because I just found out they were drinking, that he's sick. And I was concerned. I didn't want him to overdo it. And T tells me that he's fine. T takes care of him. T had always done that. He'd always taken care of him. And then I call to double check, and he answers, and then he starts a conversation asking how I'm doing, how's school, because he had dropped out. I tell him everything's fine, and I'm just worried about E. I just want to know what's going on with E. And he tells me, oh, he's fine, don't worry, me and his mom are taking care of him, which his mom grounded him for that. Like, she was really mad. And so T then starts up a different conversation than what we were having. He starts saying, I was really mad at E when he got with you. And I was like, why? Like, what happened? And I bet a bunch of you guys are assuming that he cheated on me or something, because he did cheat on me a lot, but no, this wasn't why T was mad at him. T told me he was mad at E because T had a huge crush on me 8th grade year and freshman year, and E knew. And so T started complimenting me, saying I was a goddess, that I could have anyone at my feet, that I didn't need to be with E, that I could be with anyone, that I could literally have multiple men if I wanted. And it was too much for me, honestly. I know I'm confident in the fact about that, but I also know modesty. I want to be humble about it. It's not like I'm going to be like, oh, I'm better than you. But at that time, I'm at that point now, but at that time I was very self-conscious, and I felt really awkward and weird when people gave me compliments, and it was weird. And honestly, obviously it was weird. This is his best friend hitting on me, basically. He tells me I'm a goddess walking on earth, and that it just kept dogging on E and bragging about me. And so the next morning, me and T were supposed to be keeping E away from the party and going to the store and making it seem like we were just buying random things that his mom asked to buy, which I paid for. I paid a lot in our relationship and drove. Well, we end up, T keeps trying to get close to me the whole day. He keeps trying to hold my hand. He keeps getting close to me. When we were in E's bedroom playing games, he laid down next to me and kept poking my back and making these small little touch movements, and it made me very uncomfortable. And I didn't want to tell E that day about what T did the night before, because I didn't want to ruin his birthday. And if I'm wrong for not telling him until sooner, then please tell me. I would like to know, but I just didn't feel like it was right to ruin his birthday. So then I just had enough of it. I pulled E aside and I told him everything. I told him what T said. I told him what T was doing. I said it was making me uncomfortable and that he didn't have to handle it now because it was his birthday and we were supposed to be hanging out and having fun. And then we go to his birthday party afterwards, and E says he'll take care of it, but I have no idea if he did or not. A week later, T ends up going up to Michigan with him and spends 2 weeks with him. Well, fast forward a couple days later, and E calls me complaining about T, saying that T was hitting on one of his ex-girlfriends and that T knew that they had a long relationship and it was rocky and weird, and that he was mad that T was trying to get close to her. And I said, it's kind of weird that you're still concerned about her. At this point, me and E had been together for about 10 months, and it was very weird that he was still concerned about his ex-girlfriend, which was a red flag. I should have, again, I told you, there was a lot of red flags I should have realized about. Well, then he starts going on about how T doesn't need to be doing that. He doesn't know if he can be friends with T anymore, and that he was just so mad that T was hitting on her. And this girl I knew about. There had been situations where E was too close to her. There was one time that she was having a moment, a whole breakdown, and E got close to her and literally kissed the top of her head in front of me. And I remember we had a huge argument about it because I was like, you can't be doing that with your friend. I'm your girlfriend. The only person you need to be kissing is me. And I'm not a jealous person, nor am I a possessive person. That's just basic understanding. The person you're with is the person you're supposed to be intimate with. There are certain intimate motions and affection that you can have towards different people. Your family, you kiss on the cheek or forehead, you hug them goodbye. Your partner, you have intimate moments with, all of that. And there's certain things that you leave for your partner. Kissing someone on the forehead who is your ex-girlfriend in front of your current girlfriend, is not okay at all. If your guy is being intimate with an ex, that's a red flag. He has no reason to be doing that. Well then we get into an argument saying, and I yell at E, and I'm like, well, you never did. Why are you getting jealous over this when you didn't even get mad when T was hitting on me? You didn't have a fight with him. You didn't do anything. You didn't protect me. And so he goes on to say, like, oh, yeah, I did. I had a fight with him. You just don't know about it. I did all of this. I did all of that. And he's like, you're just nagging. You're complaining. Which was something that he did a lot. Anytime we got into a fight, he turned it on me. Like, I had done something wrong. Anything I had done, it was my fault. I did this. I did that. Blah, 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 blah. It was a whole thing. And so I just stopped arguing with him and I went on with my day. And that sums up the first year we were together. The second year is when more stuff comes up, and that will be the next video I post. Thank y'all for watching. I'm probably going to do way more stories than just my ex who cheated on me. There's a story about my psychotic ex that went off his meds and said a bunch of things and did a bunch of things. I also have an ex who, like, one of the first relationships I was with, he was abusive. Another relationship I was in, he overshared and he was very cowardly about things, and he told a lot of people about me. Shared a lot of things he shouldn't have. And then I also have family stories that happen between me and my sister, which I'll have to ask for permission from my family for some of those stories. There's also stories with my dad, with my mom, because their relationship was a lot, but I'm not going to share names or anything, and nor am I going to go into details unless I have permission. But I think I'm just going to go into stories about my friendships and my exes, because they're crazy. I also have a lot of crazy things that happen to me even while I'm in college. Like, I had a car incident and I had people give me like over $300, like people I had no idea about. But just a spoiler for this one, I did break up with this guy and I got with someone way better. And that caused the biggest drama in my life that will be probably in the third year video that I post. That's where a lot of things get interesting. I will say that if you want to react to this video, you can. I know a bunch of people do that on YouTube where they'll react to people talking about their stories, and I give free use to that as long as you credit me and you comment on my video maybe, or just like, or DM me personally and say, hey, I want to react to this. I'll give you free permission. And even if you don't DM me, just credit me, you know. But this is the end of the first one. If you want to support me, subscribe, like, comment, tell me your stories. Maybe I'll start telling people's stories. If you want to DM me your story and you want certain names to leave out, I will. Maybe that's what my channel will just be stories. Alright, thank y'all for watching. Subscribe, like, and have a nice day.